All right, JHK here for Sportskeeda, and joining me right now is the newest addition to the UFC roster, Elise Reed. Elise, thank you so much for the time. How's life treating you today?
I can't complain. I got a call last week that I'm in the UFC, so it's all good, all
Yeah,
good. Training obviously, but couldn't be better.
no doubt, no doubt. Now, you made your pro debut 2019 Bellator, then you had 3 title fights for Cage Fury. Did you expect to be fighting for the UFC so early in your career?
It's crazy because I remember talking as an amateur about I had gotten two titles there, and I was talking about an amateur, and I was like, yeah, I know, I see myself getting a title. But no, second fight of my career, no, absolutely not. And then it just became where we had to take advantage of it. So as you saw, I fought the people that I could fight, the best people that were ranked, and yeah, here we go, ready to rock.
All right, well, take us to the day, when you found out the news, when they actually offered you the fight. Where were you? What were you doing?
Yeah, so the crazy thing is I had military training literally the day after I fought CFFC on the 29th, and they had a fill-in for 125 then, and so that would have been 4 days. I was like, oh my goodness, it's getting real close. So they found a replacement for her, but after that we knew that it was likely going to be just a matter of time. So I'm teaching. I'm at my martial arts school teaching, and my manager calls me and goes, hey, he goes, guess what? I was like, what? He goes, you're in. I was like, oh man. He goes, I just need a verbal yes. I was like, yes. He goes, I'm at a doctor's appointment right now. I'll hit you up later. I was like, done. And then I told the guy that was working with me, I was like, by the way, I'm in the UFC. I mean, as a martial artist, right? You look for those moments, the epitome of kind of what you've been working for. And I think Mr. K, my coach, and I are still kind of pinching ourselves a little bit, but we are ready to go. It's just it's something to actually actualize your own manifestation. So it's fun. Again, cloud nine.
Of course, of course. So at the end of May, they offered you a fight on 4 days' notice. So at the beginning of June, they gave you a fight. Who was it supposed to be against?
I don't know her name. I know that she was French and she was a striker. She was another 125, and I don't know what happened in terms of the other opponent, but I would have still had a black eye from the CFFC fight. So I mean, again, when you have opportunities like that, it's not like you're gonna say no. So believe it or not, I like this opponent, Eubanks, as much as she's a bigger girl coming down to 125. I think we're gonna have some fun. So
yeah, you're meeting in the middle. She's coming down to 125. You're going up to 125. I think the last time you fought at 125 was like early in your amateur career. Am I right?
Yeah. So I have some good research. Yeah. So the first fight ever in my amateur career was supposed to be at 115, and then the girl didn't make weight, so that was the catch weight, and I think that was 120. But that was a lot. I mean, I'm not a 125er, so I get to enjoy fight week with all of the bells and whistles, with all the food, and I get to cut like very little to make 125. So again, cloud nine, get to fight in the UFC, don't have to even worry about a weight cut.
Yeah, it is great to see that because, sometimes fighters will put too much on themselves when they enter a big fight, and you don't have to worry about the extra 10 pounds. It's great. Now, now the amateur career, I feel like that is so important nowadays, especially with yourself, because when people look at you from the outside in, they only see 4 fights. They don't look back and research you. So how important is that amateur career for you? Because it's been, you have an extensive one.
Yeah, I mean, it was something that my coach. So my first fight was during college. And I had done, obviously, martial arts. I was doing kickboxing and full contact stuff. And I remember asking Mr. Kanabe about fighting. And he goes, you're not even back home. I was doing swimming and water polo, nothing close to martial arts in college. And I was like, listen, give me one and we'll see how it goes. And it was a lot of, I think as a fighter, you're always growing every fight. And as much as, people want to say that you have experience and whatever else, I mean, every fight's different. Every lead up to different. I mean, I remember as an amateur, I was like, I should be angry. I should be mean. And I was like, I don't want to be angry the whole time. What is that? That doesn't make any sense. And then you're like, well, you can't be super excited. I mean, we really did push it. I mean, the first fight was 0-0 as anyone is, but then the second one, I think she was like 6-3, and then the one after that was Roya, who was like 8-2. So I mean, we kind of attacked our amateur career the way we've done the pro, where it was as much experience as you could get. So no, I loved fighting, and I think it got to a point where we couldn't find people, and it was like, okay, so now it's time to go pro. But I didn't feel rushed at all. I was happy to keep talking smack and getting belts. I mean, that was the best part. So no, we made that change, but it was after, I think 4 years or 3 years as an amateur, after 7 fights and I think 5 knockouts. I mean, we put work in for sure to get a good base in terms of how we work together and how obviously I fight in the ring.
The swimming, are you still doing that as part of your training?
I wish I could. COVID kind of shut a lot of it down. I'm sure I could find a spot that's outdoors, but I just realized how slow I am now. So it's a little bit less of a motivator. I'll run because I was never like a Division I athlete running, but I do some leisure. I'll leisurely swim, but no, not as much of conditioning.
All right, another key aspect of you is your military background and then the discipline that's required to be a soldier. How much does that translate over to the fighting mentality?
Yeah, well, so, I mean, military is one thing. Obviously, I went to military college, which was that was like on steroids because you're doing it 24/7 and you're doing things that you don't want to do, and you're mixing academics with athletics. And I think I just got really good at getting used to being uncomfortable and being in positions where, it wasn't happy-go-lucky the whole time. I mean, I know my college experience was drastically different than most. I can't say that I partied very often, but it's similar in the sense that you have to be very dedicated and attuned to what you're doing. And I think the military has definitely had ups and downs because I've been deployed. I've been taken away for 9 months to do that mission, and it's just keeps this strong for sure.
Yeah, I think that's a big key. When even you're so early in your career, at your pro career, that mentally you're stable, you're strong, right? Entering a fight. And you said you were deployed overseas. Where did you go? So
primarily Kuwait. We did a little bit in Iraq as well, but it was a really grand mission. And logistics. It was a good time. I mean, I learned a lot. It was definitely something where I'm a martial arts school owner, and I'm not likely going to get those opportunities again. But it was it was working a lot of the mental stuff, so it was good.
I've spoken with a few soldiers in the past, and they've talked about the combatives program. Were you part of that?
What's funny is I have never done it. Oh. And every time I know, and the thing is, every time I'm in a unit, they're like, we need to get you to combatives. We need to get you certified. We did do a familiarization course before we went over, and I'm sitting in the back, and I don't like to, I'm not a showboater, so I wouldn't like to say anything, but he was asking questions like, what's the most dominant position? I was like, rear mount. He goes, what's the second? And I just kept raising my hands like, your stuff. I was like, well, I've done it for a little bit, but no, I'm not certified at all. I'm sure eventually the Army is going to certify me, but I just haven't had the time.
Well, I think that they would just give you an honorary certification, right? Like, come on.
It's funny because I've taught classes, but I can't certify anybody because I'm not certified. So it's like, yeah, you're learning from a pretty good person. I mean, I'm not blessed off by the Army, but I'm all right.
Yeah. Those three letters helps. The 3 letters UFC helps. So.
Oh yeah.
And let's get into this matchup. Sijara Eubanks, she is 13 in the world at bantamweight. You guys are fighting at flyweight, but still, it's a big name. Have you been watching her though? Do you know about her? I think she's a Northeast fighter too, right?
Yeah. So I would say I'm the worst MMA fighter that there is. I have seen her fight. I have seen her on Fight Night or whatever, watch it live probably a year or 2 ago. I remember her hitting hard and finishing people. So I know that she's a no mess around type of fighter and is going to come forward the whole time. But in terms of strategy and moving forward, I am just worried about what I am told that I need to do, and I make sure that I can employ my game plan, and I let Mr. K create the game plan. So I let him do that, so I'm not overly obsessive of what she's going to do, but I'm focusing on my own thing. So I mean, I've seen her. I've watched her fight, not with the intent of saying like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fight her later. I'd say I've never thought that I was gonna fight Eubanks because again, she's a 135. I was like, there's no way. So here we are.
Here we are. That's right. Here we are. And one thing that sticks out about her is that she has had struggles in the past with making weight. You know, that's why
Yeah.
she was fighting at bantamweight, because she was struggling to make the 125 limit. So this could be a factor, right, in this fight, play a role.
Yeah, I mean, I think just with her cutting weight and me not cutting weight, I think that's going to be a factor, right? I'm going in fresh. I'm making sure that I'm training, but also keeping my body 100% the whole time. And, you know, any weight cut is going to pull a little bit of energy. I don't mind that she has a struggle cutting weight. I'm a person that doesn't like to get tired and doesn't get tired. So if she decides that, you know, she can't breathe a little bit or has a harder time breathing in minute 4 and 5, I don't mind. She can do that. So I think we're planning on her coming in big. We're hoping she makes weight, but either way, I mean, I think we're gonna be ready to work, ready to go. But yeah, I mean, I hope she gets tired. I don't, so I think she will.
You've had a couple weeks to prepare. You know, what does that entail? Is it just focusing on like your opponent, or is it just continuing what you've been doing?
So I had military for 2 weeks after that fight, so I wasn't necessarily able to commit 100%. I was doing a lot of stuff in California at our exercise, still working out, but obviously not MMA training. And then obviously since then I've been training. The focus right now is going to be on the game plan. I was talking to my dietitian, my trainer that does the lifting, and in 3 weeks you can't do much, right, outside of working on make sure that we're maintaining. So the focus really is to make sure that I can make sure that my body's ready as much as possible, and make sure that I have a solid game plan going into it. Because like you said, ranked bantamweight, I'm going up, she's coming down. She's going to have size, whether she can make weight or not. And we just got to make sure that we can enforce ours a little bit better than she can hers in terms of game plan.
You look at the matchup, people are going to pin you as the underdog. Is there a freedom to that?
I mean, I can tell you that I don't like to say that I have a Napoleonic complex, but I very well might. I was, 10 percentile as a kid. I was always little, and I think MMA specifically was something where I was fighting my own people. Like I was fighting people my size. Like, okay, now it's an even fight. Now let's go. So I don't mind being the underdog. I've always worn blue on my gloves, until like the last 3 fights that I've had. So I definitely want to perform. As much as I'm the underdog, I definitely think that people know who I am a little bit at this point and are kind of looking for me to do another upset. But yeah, I think this is similar to like the Jasmine matchup where I'm fighting somebody 5'7" coming down from 125, and we're taking it just because we can take it, and we're looking forward to putting on a show. But I love being the underdog. People go ahead and start betting, because it's going to be underdog all day long, making you some money. So no, I don't mind. I think that's kind of been my mentality training, whether people say it or not, that I'm the favorite or underdog. I think I've always trained with the intent that I'm going to be working harder than the other person.
The shroud of mystery also, it works into your advantage. So when you step into the cage, how do you expect to perform? Because this is a huge opportunity. You take out a ranked fighter in the UFC in your debut. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've done crazy things before. I think that's what I have at least going for me, is I've done crazy things, right? A debut with Bellator, I thought that was going to be crazy. And I was like, the ring's not that big. And then we're taking on Jasmine, and she's just so tall. Like, why am I fighting somebody so tall? And she's pressing me the whole time. And then we did that, and that wasn't that crazy. So I think I have a bit of an advantage just with my background of being that person that's doing the crazy stuff first. But no, it's gonna be something. It's gonna be something that hopefully everybody gets to enjoy and watch, and I get to be the person that gets to show up and do my thing like I normally do. So You're telling me it's crazy. I know I have to. I'm doing it, so I'm well aware.
So after this, the plan is to go back to strawweight, right? Or are you staying at
Yeah.
flyweight?
No, God no. God no, I'm not staying at flyweight. I mean, maybe eventually, but I think size-wise, I match up better with strawweight. I think they have a really solid division at 115, so that's our intent, is to make a run at 115. I don't see myself ever having a problem making 125, but I also don't necessarily want to sit there. So yeah, we'll go back to 115. Maybe 135. Maybe I think of some other bantamweights. No, I'm kidding. I would never. That wouldn't happen.
Maybe you're gonna chase after that featherweight title. You know the line to that title is short.
Oh man, that would be something, wouldn't it? I'm coming in like 10 pounds shorter to fight featherweight. No, this is probably going to be the craziest thing I do. I think after this, I mean, I've talked to my coach about it, because, you know, every fight has been a big fight, right? And that's why my record is what it is. But he goes, you think at some point we just like chill out and do what normal people do? I was like, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, where we just, 115 fighters, non-ranked, let's go. But no, I think it's been good. I think the pressure of those championship fights at CFFC and the mentality that goes into that, I think it's going to be an advantage that I get to bring in as a debut fighter that I don't think most people do. So, we'll see. Again, I get to have fun, right? I show up, I do a good performance. Still, even if it comes close, I come close to taking up a ranked bantamweight. I mean, I can't lose this fight, honestly. But I'm not looking forward to have my hand not raised either. So.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to this fight. It's a good matchup, and I've been watching you since your first fight for Cage Fury. So, I know what you can do. I know what she can do. July 24th, Las Vegas. Thank you, Elise, for the time.
Yeah. No, thank you so much.